Hello and welcome to lesson 29 on Let the Arrows Fly. I'm your host, Pastor Ryan, and I believe that you were created by God on purpose for a purpose, to be a light in this world.
But Pastor Ryan, what about when you don't feel like being a light, yeah? When you've had a no good, very bad, awful day, or even a bad week, or a month, or a year?
That's a great question because, truth be told, dude, sometimes I can just feel, sad.
Yeah, sometimes I get my feelings hurt and I don't feel like singing. Guys, I'm right there with you. I totally get it. That's why we hang on to God's promises.
Yeah, like the time that Jesus promised to be with us to the very end and never leave us. God is a promise maker and a promise keeper.
And that's a great promise. And for when times are just, difficult, when life is hard, I love to remind myself of Romans 8:28.
Oh, I love that one. Romans 8:28 says this, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose.
Thanks, rule follower. Yeah, in all things, God is working for the good of those who love him. That means God is even working on our bad days, the days where we face suffering or pain or even loss. God is working.
That's great news, Ryan, because some days things just don't go my way. Life can just be hard sometimes, you know?
Yeah, like the day that I lost my sword and I couldn't find it. That was a very sad day.
True, Rebel, and I remember that day. And sometimes life can be much more difficult than that. Like if you ever get news that a family member has passed away, or if you receive news that someone you love is very sick.
So God is with you even on your bad days, and your sad days, and the days where you just don't feel like your light is shining very brightly?
Yes, mad scientist. God is with you, and he is working for you. That's what Romans 8:28 says. God is at work in your life to bring you good, even from the bad.
That sounds to me like God is faithful.
Absolutely. From Genesis to Revelation, the entire Bible is one great big story of just how faithful our God is. He is so faithful even to unfaithful people. God is so good. God is so faithful.
What does faithful mean?
Well, I kind of said it earlier when I said that God makes promises and then he keeps his promises by what he does. God always proves to be faithful.
That's right, Bubba. God is faithful. And we should be faithful because God is faithful. God proves he is faithful by what he does. And we should prove to be faithful by what we do, even when times are hard.
So is there anybody in the Bible who went through hard times and they stayed faithful?
Oh boy, is there ever. The Bible is full of real people in real times that faced really difficult things. And some people were unfaithful to God, but others proved their faithfulness by what they did. As a matter of fact, the New Testament book of Hebrews has a record, a sort of hall of fame of faithful people.
What? There's a Hall of Fame in the Bible? Were they amazing athletes, Ryan?
Oh yeah, were they rock stars? No, Hebrews chapter 11 is more of a faith hall of fame. It's a list of real men and women who faced incredibly difficult times, and yet they proved their faithfulness by their actions. I gave the list to rule follower.
Well, thanks, Ryan. The list from Hebrews 11 of all those faithful people include these names in the list: Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Joshua, Rahab, Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and then he mentions a bunch of other people, and not by name, but by what they did. And that includes Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the widow of Zarephath, the Shunammite woman, Elijah and Elisha, Jeremiah, Zechariah, and Isaiah, just to name a few.
Oh, that's a lot of faithful people. So I guess that they proved they were faithful by their actions, yeah? By what they did. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have made the list, yeah, Ryan?
Yep, faith is proved by our actions. As a matter of fact, without your faith being in action, it's impossible to please God. So be faithful because God is faithful. It's such a powerful way to let your light shine, especially when times get tough.
And the great promise from God in Romans 8:28 is that God is faithfully working in the background of your life for your good because he called you to a great purpose. I mean, wow! God is amazing!
Oh, yes! God made us on purpose for a purpose, yes? And that gives me a great hope for each and every day, even on the hard days.
You said hope. What is hope?
Great question, quarterback. We'll get to that next time on Let the Arrows Fly. Hey there, I want to say a big thank you to all of you who sent me a lot of encouragement recently to tell me happy birthday, and I wanted to show you some of the great encouragement that was sent my way. I love you all. Thank you so much from my heart to yours. May the Lord bless you and keep you. I'll see you soon, friends.